Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm gonna do a update on Infernity Phantom Knights featuring the new Phantom Knight card, and I can tell you that these new Phantom Knight cards are so crazy that you just cannot even stop this deck because there are so many cards and so many extenders and starters, and especially the freaking XYZ, the Malevolent Sight. It's so crazy that Phantom Knights got their generic invoker. You can also cut Tour Guide, but Tour Guide is probably the best starter solely because it summons you 2 dark monsters with just 1 card. I know that Solaret does that too, but Solaret is a special summon, and I just run 1 trap. You can also run more traps if you want. But yeah, this deck is crazy. I'm just gonna show you duels against actual opponents to see how crazy this deck is. Okay, in the first duel I'm playing against Yuto, by the way, base name, because Yuto in the anime plays Phantom Knights, and you can see that he is playing Phantom Knights, and I'm just starting with Solaret. Go for Sight, go for Cloak, Cloak adds the boots, yep, go for Cherubini, send Rhino effects and Stygian, yep, go for Necromancer, Buyo, yep, and my opponent nibs me here, and you can see that my opponent nibbed me for my freaking life savings because they nibbed Buyo, they nibbed my way to Finsmith, they nibbed Sight, and my opponent nibbed 4 freaking monsters. And in the past I would be like, well, I cannot get to Archfiend, I cannot do my combo, so well, that's not Infernity in 2026, because we have Usurpation. Yep, use Playtime, summon Archfiend straight from the deck. Necromancer, we didn't even use Mutiny. Summon Duke of Demise, normal summon Necromancer, and through Nibiru, which was our biggest choke point, Nibiru just doesn't matter anymore. Like, you don't really care about Nibiru, you can just continue comboing. And yeah, we just go for Bardish, use Boots, add another Fogblade, summon the Thornscale, discard the Fogblade to send the Ragged Gloves, use Levier, yep, go for Espilital Knight, banish the Nibiru, use Launcher, bring back 2 Necromancers. And now the only problem is that I have to get the Rusty Bardish off the board, but that's super easy because I have Zelantis. Yep, add the Reaper, go for Zelantis, use Reaper, bring back Necromancer, and my opponent surrender. In the second duel I'm going second against Sky Strikers, and their hand is decent. They draw Engage, so it's definitely a good hand. They go for Raise, 0, add the Lemnis Gate, yep, go for Kagari, add back the Engage, use Engage again to add the Widow Anchor. They use Prohibition to call the Espilital Knight, go for Shizuku, add drones, and here you can see that I have to play around freaking 4 back row, plus follow up in Hornet drones, and also I cannot really get rid of Shizuku that easily because of Array, right? But my hand isn't that good. I drew the brick, Thornscale is good, but as a extender / starter it's okay. And the Solaret was a really good draw, so I special summon Solaret, use Solaret effect, they use Widow Anchor, and I was like, okay, normal summon Thornscales, they banish my Stygian immediately, and they let Thornscale resolve, use the Cloak, add the Boots, go for Cherubini, send Rhino effect, send Buyo, and yep, use Boots, add another Fogblade, summon the Thornscales, go for Sight, they use the Lemnis Gate, so they can bounce back Cherubini and Sight, and I was like, okay, what can I do now? Well, there is Mutiny, of course, go for Mutiny, Duke of Demise, give myself another normal summon, yep, Archfiend, and here is where I made a misplay, because I thought that my opponent still had Ray, but you can see that they don't. And what would I have done is that I would have used Dark, bring back the Ray, go for Bardish, and yeah, I would still have a lot of follow-up, but it's all good because I can just attack over the Shizuku and not be scared of Ray. Yep, they draw Upstart, they use Upstart, yep, they just draw Engage, by the way, which is crazy. Yep, Rhoda. Yeah, they use drones. Go for Kagari. Yep, use the first Fog Blade on Kagari. Yep, they go for Zero. I use the second Fog Blade. Yep, they chain the Rose, which is not gonna do anything. Yep, they use the Lemnis Gate, go for Hayate. Hayate 15, yep. Effect, send the what the hell is this, by the way, I don't know. Yep, and this top deck is crazy. Solaret sets the new trap that can set itself. Yep, go for Cherubini, since I haven't even used Cherubini, I think. Yeah. I did use it last turn, but Cherubini was bounced back. Yep. Usurpation, Playtime, Archfiend, and yeah. Just from one singular card from Solaret, you'll see that it just doesn't matter what they hit. Yep, and also I use Mutiny. Go for Aerial Eater, send Necromancer, yeah. Use the Fog Blade, summon the Torrent Scale. Use Reaper, bring back Necromancer. Archfiend effect. Grab Launcher, go for Sight again. Summon the Cloak. Yeah, this deck just cannot freaking stop. Yeah, like go for Levier, summon the Stygian so I can use Stygian again. I go for Dark Rebellion so I can pop 3 cards and 3 of my cards. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely winning this duel, and I use Sight to add back the Fog Blade. But I misplayed because Fog Blade, no sorry, the Sight can only bring back the Phantom Knights monsters, so I couldn't bring back the Fog Blade. And I was like, okay, I was actually kind of panicking because I used my normal summon and I cannot really get the Ancient Cloak from my hand, but you know, there is always Torn Scales to save the day, so I just discard the Cloak. Yep. Send the Ragged Gloves, use Launcher, bring back Archfiend Necromancer. Yep, Archfiend effect. Grab another Necromancer, Reproducus, Aerial Eater, make it a Life Fiend, go for Requiem, Engraver. Yep, Requiem. Send, yeah, that 0. Use Stygian, Necromancer, Archfiend again. Grab the first barrier, go for Zelantis, use Necromancer again. Like this deck, this deck is crazy when it just pops off. Yep, use Zelantis. Yep, 2 Necromancers, 2 Archfiend and Zelantis. I set Ray. Yep, Chainlink 1 chain to Archfiend. Grab the second barrier, right? Yeah. No, third barrier. Yeah, so I already have 4 freaking interruptions and 5th in Infernity Break. And also Bardish is, yeah, oh my god, this, I haven't even used my Bardish, by the way. In this duel I'm going first, and this is, I think, the second game. I start with Torguide summon the Buyo. Yep, go for Cherubini, use Buyo, add Mutiny. Yep, Cherubini, send Rhino. Yep, send Ares, add the Usurpation, use the Cloak. Use Cloak, add the Boots, go for Sight, and you can see that when you draw the Cloak, the new Cloak is also a starter and an extender, because if you have another Phantom Knight monster in your hand, you can just freely special summon it, add the Boots, and then Boots is also a extender because now you also have the Trap. I cannot really remember the name, it's something like Umbrage Veil or something, and that also can summon itself, and it's a level 3. So there is so many cards, so many starters, and so many interruptions that you can actually get to. And yeah, I just go for Duke of Demise, Necromancer again, go for SP, Necromancer again, Archfiend, grab Break, go for, yeah, Bardish, send the Solaret, use the Boots, use Necromancer, yep, use Archfiend, grab the Barrier, and here I can see that I have double Fog Blade and double Barrier and Break, which is crazy. They tried to use Widow Anchor, I was like, nope. No, not a chance. They use 0, but it's gonna just get negated by barrier. They use Rota, and I was like, that's completely fine. They use Rose and 0. Yeah. Go for Azalea, just use the Fog Blade. They chain the Forbidden Crown, and I just negate it with barrier. Yep, they go for Kagari, another Fog Blade. Like, there is so much interruptions over here. And also I can just use Fog Blade to bring back the Bardish. So I can use Bardish on the next turn, and also I can use it for Alico Talker to also negate. I use Espirital Knight to banish the Shizuku. They summon the Ray, summon the Engage 0, and I was like, nope, just gonna pop that as well, and yeah, this is just more than enough for game. I use Fog Blade, summon the Cloak, they chain the Sky Striker Mecha, okay, use Bardish, yep, Solaret, make it a level 4, use the Dark Rebellion, and here is the Umbrage Veil, so I did give a good name, yeah. Boots, go for Sight, go for Cloak, yeah, Mutiny now, and yeah, so freaking crazy. Aerolator as well, send Eris, add another Usurpation, go for Zelantis, use Usurpation again, reset the playtime, summon another Archfiend, use Archfiend, grab another Archfiend, and just, yeah, this is more than 10k, and I was like, this was a little bit of a BM, but yeah. In this duel I'm going first, I think, yeah. And here I start with Cloak. Yep, Cloak effect. Since I already have Boots, I can just add the Torn Scales. Yeah. Normal summon Torn Scales, discard one of the Boots. Send the Ragged Gloves, go for Sight effect, go for Solaret. So Sight is the new XYZ, is so crazy because if you start with Solaret, right? You'll get to the trap and you'll get to Sight, and then Sight can either summon a Torn Scales or the Cloak. You'll most likely gonna summon the Cloak because you don't really have a lot of monsters, but if you do, you can just summon the Torn Scales, get rid of one of those monsters with Torn Scales, and there is so many good cards here, and yeah, just go for Aerolator. You can also just, you can see I had 2 level 6 Fiends, so I can basically play Wave High King Caesar as well, so that's also an option. Yep, Ragged Gloves, trigger Torn Scales, go for Levier, bring back the Stygian again, so I can use it once again. Zelantis, Dark, use Launcher, yeah, bring back 2 Necromancers. Yep, Necromancer 1. Archfiend grabs, yeah, the Reaper. Go for Bardish. Yep, set another Fog Blade. Yeah, this deck is just crazy. Archfiend, grab Barrier. Go for SP, use Reaper, Archfiend effect. Grab Barrier, use Solaret to make it a level 4. Why? Because the trap, the Umbrage Veil, here it is, can banish itself, so I can actually XYZ summon a Dark XYZ monster, so I can summon the Dark Rebellion on my opponent's turn, and then I can just pop the Fog Blades that I have already used. So yeah, there is so many interruptions over here, but I did actually make a little bit of a misplay. I'll show you very soon. They go for, yeah, multi-roll, and I immediately go for Trap, forgetting that I didn't even use my barriers, and I have killed off my barriers for basically nothing, and that was a little bit, not a little bit, a lot of greediness in this play, because I used the Dark Rebellion to pop 2, yeah, and yeah, my opponent surrendered, but if they had any other plays, I would have been so freaking screwed. So yeah, in this duel I'm going first, and my hand is decent. Yeah, Usurpation, set the playtime. Yep, use Foolish, sent the Rhino sent Buyo. Yep, Mutiny, and yeah, playtime, summon Archfiend from the hand. add the Necromancer, use Mutinies to summon the Duke of Demise, use another normal summon. I think I didn't even use my proper normal summon, so that's crazy. Yeah, use Necromancer, Archfiend, add back the Mutiny, so I can have it for my next turn. Yep, go for Ripidocus, Requiem, Engraver, Sequence. Yeah, and I was like going all the way, sending Stygian, I think, when I could have just normal summoned a monster, but it's all good. Yeah, Archfiend, grab Launcher. Yep, go for Zelantis, use Launcher, bring back two Necromancers, Necromancer 1, 2. Yep, and you can see that I already have one Barrier and one Fogblade, plus Mutiny as a follow-up, and I still yet to have to use the Zelantis, and I used it as added the Barrier. Yep, go for Cherubini, Rusty Bardish, yep, use the Rusty Bardish, set the Trap, go for Dark, use the Rugged Gloves, the Cloak, sorry, add the Boots, use Necromancer, Archfiend effect, grab another Archfiend, because I can just bring back the Stygian, so I can summon Archfiend again, go for Echo Talker, Stygian effect, yep, Archfiend, and yeah, set Barrier, and here is what I have. Echo Talker plus Bardish, because you're not gonna send Zelantis, you're always gonna send Bardish, because Bardish cannot be used as a link summon. I have one barrier, I have three barriers, plus Fogblade, so four Omni Negates, sorry. 3 Omni Negates in 3 barriers, Omni Negate in Echo Talker, and a Fogblade as another interruption. Also, I have Mutiny as a follow-up, I have Rusty Bardish as a follow-up, I have a full graveyard of Phantom Knights, and also I have the Duke of Demise, so I can always add back the Necromancer, then bring back the Stygian, so I can summon the Archfiend again. Yeah, so much interruption, and they are playing the Synchron deck, and I was like, okay, negate. Yeah, because this Junkmeister is actually a very decent card. Yep, I barrier the Fellowship, it's a route for 2. I was like, nope. Full Speed Warrior, just gonna get negated, and yeah, my opponent surrender, because you just cannot break this. Come on. They didn't even go through, they have to go through 2 barriers, and also they have to threaten my Archfiend. No, they cannot threaten my Archfiend because of Zelantis, and also when they send off these two, I can also banish the Fogblade, so I can either summon the Bardish or the new Cloak to add the Boots or the Torn Scales or the Solaret. So yeah. And in the last duel, here my opponent bricked, and they still have a decent hand. They used the Fuvolos, and I was like, okay, I can actually kill him. Starts with Solaret, yep. Sight. They use the Ash Blossom, yep. It doesn't matter that they Ash Blossom the Thorn Scaled, because I can just summon the Cloak with my Sight, yep. Use Cherubini send Rhino effect, and yeah, my opponent surrender. But I actually was in a way worse spot that they can actually imagine, because I did draw Archfiend's playtime, which makes Archfiend Heiress and Usurpation so much worse, but I can still manage to destroy it by Bardish. So yeah, it really doesn't matter. So this is the deck again, so you have seen the duels and how this deck actually just cannot really stop, and it's so freaking strong, and its grind game is crazy. Maybe I would play the Stained Greaves, because if you draw a lot of Phantom Knights, sometimes you can actually get clogged up by them. So you can send the Stained Greaves, summon one of them from your hand, right? That's also a really good extender. So yeah, that's actually a very good honorable mention. But yeah, anyway, besides that, this deck has been performing really well, because this deck, you can just vision it as a 3-axis Infernity, but this deck, but the only difference is that the whole deck is searchable by each other, because Cloak can add the boots, that's already a sight, or Cherubini, yeah, or Cherubini. That Cherubini also means that you have a way to Usurpation, and Usurpation is of course a way to Archfiend. There is also a way for Doom Solarette. It's a special summon as well, and that Solarette can set the trap. So yeah, there is so much extender, so many starters and extenders in this deck. So yeah, crazy deck. Here are some suggestions you can also play. I have said about Stained Greaves. You can also play the Raider's Knight. That's a really good suggestion. You can also play Lacrima, so you can bring back the sequence, but the problem is that Lacrima and Engraver are bricks, and you don't really want to draw them unless you have the access to Mutiny, but you won't always have access to Mutiny, because the only way to get to Buyo is through Tour Guide, and I don't play Void Apocalypse here because you can only just send Rhino and Ares or Stygian, and that's not really that good. So that's why I don't run Lacrima. Engraver is just there just so I can shuffle back the sequence or the Requiem, and it's also good going second, yeah, for obvious reasons. You can also play more of the new trap, the Umbrage Veil. You can play the rank ups. You can play these 2 rank ups, and also the new one. This new one is actually a very decent one. It's a Monster Reborn and a rank up in one. You can also play the XYZ, Dark Requiem XYZ Dragon, which is a Monster Negate, really good. You can also play a Lucy. Also play the Break Sword. Yep. You can also play more Dark Rebellions, and you can also play the Ophion. By the way, I'm just gonna tell you this, that I'm gonna make a separate video on Dark Rebellion, because this card is so freaking crazy, and it can summon a lot of freaking targets that are broken. Which one of them is the Ophion? And Ophion is crazy. Like, yeah, what can freaking Dracotel do against Ophion? Nothing, because they cannot use the Artalion, they cannot go for their second fusion or the Secretary or whatever the card is. Then Dark Magician also gets screwed by this card. They cannot summon the Dragoon or Dark Magician of Destruction. Mitsurugi also gets screwed by this card as well. So yeah, this card is crazy. Wow. I don't know if it's gonna get banned when this card gets released, but I wouldn't really be shocked, I can tell you that. So yeah, that's it gonna be for the video. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon, and goodbye.